Hi guys, Paul here from PA Brew News. Happy day, everything good, yippity skippity dippity whippity. Just happy days, happy days, happy days, happy days. One thing, did a little bit of a beer haul yesterday. I was going up to Danville. There's a beverage place in Danville right on 11. I never kind of went in there. They didn't have a lot compared to some of the places, but they did have a lovely little selection of single bottles, and I got a couple from Weinheim Stefanas, some Icebox, some Avatinas. I got some beautiful Belgian beers. I got 2 beers from the Brooklyn Brewing Company. One beer was the Black Ops. I'm going to save that for another one. That's 2017 Black Ops. And this beer right here, what's up, Craig, is the 2015 Intensified Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Coffee Porter from Brooklyn Brewing Company that I've never heard of. I never heard of this beer. I'm sure a lot of people have. Picked this up for $13.99 a bottle, and that is not bad. I don't know if they have any more. If I really like this, I'm going to go find out, because I saw the one and I grabbed it. So for $13.99 for aged on the shelf 2015 Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Coffee Stout, I think that's porter. I think that's pretty good for $13.99. So like I said, if I do enjoy this, I'm definitely gonna pick it up. Listen to Coors Cold right now. That's what we're doing. And celebrating my 1600th video has creeped up upon me. I don't know exactly what number we're on right now. I just looked on the YouTube. It doesn't actually give you the specific. It says 1.5, you know, that kind of thing, K. And all of a sudden I noticed it says 1.6K. So gotta celebrate that milestone. Been on here for a long time. And actually next month will be 7 years? I think 7 years on YouTube. 7 or 8 years on YouTube. So I'll have to crack it open and see what we got going on here. Hopefully it doesn't explode. That'll make me happy. Definitely make me happy. Cage is off. Woo! A lot of barrel smoke on this one for sure. A lot of barrel cannon smoke rolling off the top of this one. Alright, let's get into my, it looks a little dirty, but my 10 barrel, I think it's called, glass. Alright. Let's get it in there and I'll tell you the other thing about it. 11.8% alcohol by volume, so definitely a light, sessionable beer. Nice. What's up, Sexton? Yep. Well, thank you. 1600. Let's see, and that's not reviews, obviously, but videos. I'm way past that in reviews, probably. All right, so tappy, and here we go. And it looks exactly like a bourbon barrel aged imperial coffee porter should look like. Dark. Now, there's a lot of ruby hues from the pinnacle of the glass. It did look like a little bit of a lighter beer as I poured it, but again, this is only a coffee porter, imperial coffee porter. So we'll have to give it a little bit of leeway. Not much. It is. It looks a bit thin, and I'm already going to say it's probably a bit thin. I'm glad you called that, Ashley. Cheers. It's a bit thin. It is. It's a bit thin. You're right. It's a bit thin. It's got that... It's very oily. I will say that. It's very oily, very slick, but at the same time, it's almost that medium size to high side of a medium mouthfeel. That's all it's really kind of given to me. But it's oily, it's thick, and there was a little bit of that 11.8 right there for a little bit in the chest. So let's get back into this one. Cheers. The bourbon's there. Bright peppery caramel. Over the years, the bourbon has held up amazingly well. There's a nuance of oak tannin, little walnut husk. You have a slight bit of raisin in there too, a little dark fruit, a little vanilla creeping in. Of course, you have the roasty toasty goodness, little milk chocolate going on. Nothing's too bombastic. I think the brightest note is the bourbon. Everything else kind of very subtle and nuanced. Nice earthy and nutty note. That could be a lot of the coffee coming through too. That is still kind of there, kind of transcending in just that into that charred, nutty kind of compound. Bright, spicy, peppery bourbon. Love it. Let's add some more. This is already too much of an empty glass for me right now. Okay. And again. It's subtle. It's smooth. A lot of caramel, vanilla, a hint of chocolate, roasty, toasty. There was a waft of a darker fruit, maybe like a cherry or a raisin, but that's dissipated a little bit now that the beer's opened up a little bit and it got a chance to breathe. Now it's more just char, vanilla, caramel, walnut husk, spicy caramel bourbon. All lovely characteristics. It's just very subtle and relaxed and smooth, and yeah, it's one of those kind of deals. Excuse me. But this is the beer before I go to bed too, so you want subtle and relaxed and smooth, you know, those kind of nuances. The initial waft of 11.8% did hit me here. It is not hitting me anymore. It does taste like an 8% beer. It is hiding almost those extra 4 points of alcohol by volume amazingly well. It has that nice little oiliness to it. There's a light, lovely, bright, lively carbonation that works the flavors around your palate, so it doesn't seem dead and lifeless. There's a lot. Everything kind of worked well with this beer. It's a bit thin, as you guys already called it. It is a bit thin for me. It's in that high side of a medium body, medium side of a medium body. It's not really hitting those notes as far as body that I like. However, it's an imperial porter, and when you put an imperial porter that's not meant to be like really aged, like a nice thick son of a bitchin' porter, it's gonna get thinner in the barrel. And this one, I definitely could say it was on that low side of a full, high side of a medium, like strong in that tapering, that full side. And that bourbon barrel aging plus the years, a couple years in the bottle, it has knocked it down a little bit as it happens. It's just the way it is. But for what I'm drinking, I really do enjoy it. And I've been playing too much just like soundtrack music in the back, so I figured I'd throw some metal back on, because you need to do that. It's important. It's an important thing. I do wish this was more bombastic. I really wish there was more chocolate involved and more. I mean, I can't really complain about the coffee though, because it's from 2015 and it's coffee. Coffee subsides. Star of the show, bourbon, absolutely. Bright, spicy caramel bourbon is definitely the star of the show on this one. But the other ones are cohesive. They're just nuanced. You know what I mean? It's basically everything is accenting and acclimating the bourbon more so than the bourbon is accenting the beer, if you know what I'm saying. I'm sure, Ashley, you and I would be very happy brewing this beer. You know, one of those kind of moments. If this was a home brew, I would be like, yeah! You know, those kind of things. It is a perfect marriage. And black metal, high ABV beer, 9 a.m., no food in your belly. It doesn't get better than that. You know, it really doesn't. I mean, if I had a cold pizza on the stove, we're talking. You know what I mean? One of those things. Oh, but I am going to add a horror movie to the list after we get done here. I'm going to throw a horror movie in. So add the horror movie to that, and it's a match made in heaven. Or in hell, as it were. Match made in hell. So that's fun. The beer is a little bit, I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, because I'd probably just have sex with it instead. But it's a little bit subtle. It's a bit nuanced. It's a bit one of those ones where if you're used to drinking, if you have, like, just let's just say you get a person that's used to drinking the Abyss from Deschutes and Parabola and things of those natures all the time, your palate's going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? It's a little bit lackluster. It's a little bit this, a little bit that. It's one of those kind of beers. But if you're not used to a bourbon barrel aged, imperial or anything, it's going to blow your fucking doors off. It's one of those kind of tones. So I'm going to throw it to me for the 1600th special review or video review. I will going to throw this one, the Intensified Barrel Aged Imperial Coffee Porter from Brooklyn Brewing Company. And they are, and it's also made with blue bottle coffee, and and of course Brooklyn Brewing Company, bottled in Brooklyn, New York, blah blah blah. 2015, it says right there. Brooklyn Intensified Coffee Porter starts as a big chocolatey ale, ready to take on superpowers. The first power is gained from the months of aging in Kentucky bourbon barrels. The second arises from delicate beans harvested from our pals at Fiance El Manzano, single origin coffee in El Salvador. And I forgot to mention that it is El Salvadorian coffee that they add here, not Sumatra. That's my favorite. But there we go. The final power comes from the Flame Blue Bottle Coffee Roasters to elevate the coffee to a perfection. Brace yourself for complex notes of dark chocolate, yes, vanilla, yes, oak, yes, berries, dried fruit. I think that fell off a little bit. I think that there was that nuance right at the beginning, but as soon as the beer had a chance to breathe, I think the dark fruits went into the air, unfortunately. But it happens. All right? And then, of course, coming to intensify you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So there you go. So you got the bottle. It's red. It's reviewed. It is 100% embossed Brooklyn Brewing Company goodness. And one day I will do the Black Ops. I don't know when. If you're wondering why I picked the Intensified over the Black Ops, there's two reasons. One, 2015, 2017. 11.8 and 10.7. You know, I'm going to go with the bigger one. Plus, the other thing is, Ashley, can you call it? They use champagne yeast to finish this out. So I'm already going to call it a bit thin. It's going to be a bit thin. There you go. So, he said, I always knew you were a fan of BBC. I love the British Broadcasting Company and Big Black Dick. That fucking peppermill shit all fucking day. You know what I mean? You know? Black Stallion. And for the new watchers, I don't give a fuck what I say. Never have, never will. So the last dregs of the bottle are going in now. So I figured I'd just do the whole thing. I want to make sure that I get all the dregs in. Maybe all the dark fruit was on the bottom, if you know what I mean. It should be fun. Cheers, Ken. Hold on for a second. You're gonna call me stupid. There's a plum now with the dregs in. There's a plum tone. There's a plummy tone. You get everything else, everything I was talking about, but now there's a subtle plum. Prune almost, you want to say, but more plum. But like a plum prune kind of quality when you put the, you better unsubscribe. But yeah, when I put all that sedimentation in the bottom back in, it actually added like almost a prune vibe, a plum vibe. Brooklyn Brewing Company, you went real dark with that. I always, and I, wait a second, was that a fucking dad joke? Because BBC, you went dark with that? Because that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Or did you make a joke without realizing you made it? Because Craig, he's already thinking that. He's dad joke ahead. He's already ahead of the dad jokes. Actually, the funny thing is, I think probably my favorite beer from the, which I've had a few. I think Why do I have some bags on my eyes? Ooh. I think my favorite beer from the Brooklyn Brewing Company as of yet was probably their East India Ale. Like their East India Pale Ale was just a really, really great interpretation of a actual, you know, proper English IP or pale ale. So or IPA rather, I guess. So I love that beer. But other than that, like the black chocolate's never really done anything. Even though I appreciate the black chocolate, it's not as advertised. You know, black chocolate. You know, it's not giving me that layers and decadence of black chocolate. What's up, Jamie? Cheers. So I've never been a huge fan of that, but yeah, I still remember the first time I had a Brooklyn Brown and I dumped it out because it was too hoppy for me. Back in the day when I could not stand anything better, it was chocolate stouts or nothing. It was kind of funny, especially when I look back now with all the beers I've had since and all the beers I've drank and blah blah blah, and drinking a Brooklyn Brown now is nothing. But I remember at that time it was like, oh, so hoppy, can't do it. Oh my god. And I wasn't a lager guy growing up. Believe me, I was not a lager guy. I've never liked lagers. Well, I do like lagers. Calm down. I was never that classical style of macro lager drinker growing up. It was bourbon or nothing, and then super crazy imperial stout craft beer kind of thing. So having anything with a lot of hops was a different thing for me. But I gotta go over here, and good thing my pants are on. Maybe it's a bad thing my pants are on. I don't know. Actually, I think this is gonna fix the pants being on thing. It's pretty good beer. Let's see. That was a multi-layered dad joke. That's what this is, right? It was a multi-layered dad joke. And cheers to Jamie again. Yes. This is a unexpected beer. I was definitely not expecting to find it. I was going in for like the Rocheforts because I got an 8 and a Westmalle Chapelle and I got a Meridos and stuff. I was going in for more of the Belgian beers that I was told that they have Belgian beers there, because apparently I can get a case of Rochefort 10, a case of Rochefort 8. I saw those there. They were there. And they're not new beers, I don't think. This is 6/12, so December 6, 2022 is Best Buy. And I think they give 5 years on that one, so it's like a 17. So they're somewhat fresh. And the Westmalle here is, this one was best before end March 23rd, 2017. So this is definitely aged. This is definitely an aged beer. So just looking at these, and again, best before January of 2017. And these are big old beers, big old Belgian beers. You know they age. So I'm going to have a good time. I'm definitely going to have a good time. And the two beers from Weihenstephaner was the Corbinian and the Vitus, and I think I reviewed them both on my channel. But there's nothing wrong with coming back after, especially a few years. Like PABrewNews hitting almost 7-8 years now. Going back and reviewing some of these beers. And then I picked up the Eisbock, which I might have done also. But, you know, again, picking these beers up and redoing them again. And this is 2017, so got some age. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna have a great time. Plus I got some new craft beers in the back there. I'm a pig and shit right now. And this beer is doing good. Like it. 1,600 videos. That's fucking stupid. Really. And they're not just beer reviews, obviously. You know what I mean? They're a little bit of everything. And then, of course, Maniacs Mead Podcast has really kicked up the intake of videos, and painting with PABrewNews. I just did one of those, so go. And Craig is saying cheers to the guys. I like the guys. The guys are the best. I think the guys are basically the reason I keep fucking doing this, because there you go. Like for instance, the painting with PABrewNews. Now I only got like 20 views a video, but the 20 people who watch it are the 20 people who say they like it. So I keep doing it because the guys say they like it. So cheers. I actually have 3 more. I think 3 more painting with PABrewNews in the bag already, waiting to get every week. I'm gonna upload one. So I already got 3. I got 3 more in the bag, so that's fun. And I'm planning on actually doing art classes again. I know the first art class is kind of a bust, but I found a new venue and they're very excited. So there we go. Art class. Hashtag art class. You get to see the alcohol legs. I didn't know if I did the swirl, but you get to see kind of the stickingness. The sticky lacing is nice, but the alcohol legs, there's really sheets and blankets of alcohol sticking to the glass. Really, really nice. One way to clean your glass, put a beer like this in it. Cleans the shit out of it. I like the fact that one tap and absolutely nothing stuck to the side of the glass after that. That really cleaned the I mean, this is better than Dawn. I'll tell you what. Clean the hell out of this glass. But if you let this dry, you're gonna be with a chisel trying to get this out of the glass. Cheers to all my viewers. Cheers to everybody watching. This is a big beast of a beer. Something about it. I just feel like I should finish this. I should finish this on camera. It's a good beer. Man, it's tasty. This is a tasty brew. I'll tell you what. And 11.8. I'm liking it. Yeah. PA art class. There you go. I will say, in the heat of the moment, back when I was drinking about half the bottle down, I was saying, you know what? This doesn't feel 11.8, right? So I was drinking down pretty nice flavors. But when you get down to the bottom of the glass, though, it starts coming back out again. Well, now you don't, because most people don't finish the whole fucking glass on camera. Now it's actually getting to that point where that 11.8 is more apparent, and you're like, whew. Every time you drink it, like that 11.8 is like in your face, and like, holy shit. But with the increased alcohol, maybe that's exactly why I'm getting that increased plum note, that dark fruit note that was supposed to be in there. Because right at the start, the dark fruit was in there, hit me like a fucking, like a rocket, and then it went away. And I was drinking, and it's all good. Now I'm at the bottom. Now the dark fruit's back. Now I'm getting hit with that alcohol by volume thing again. So that sounds stupid, but at the same time, it makes sense. So my painting videos are extremely PG. So there you go. That's Painting Paul. Painting Paul's happy and talking about little animals and stuff and little duders and things and stuff. It's not this Paul. This Paul is beer review Paul, who doesn't give a fuck what he says. The other guy's happy because I'm painting, so I'm just monkeys and like that. This guy hates life, and that's why I'm drinking. So there you go, different Paul. I have many Pauls, many faces of Paul. I have Wolf Paul or Dark Funeral Dust 666 on the Funeral Dust 666 YouTube channel. That's a whole nother Paul over there doing the Black Death Metal Paul. I got lots of Pauls. There's some. I definitely have like multiple personalities going through. So, but they're all fun. They all like beer and touching butts. So I mean, that's good, right? I think that's good. Ooh. I like Coors. I certainly do. And not Coors Gold. Fuck you, Eric. You macro drinking piece of shit. Yeah. Right now, it's really weird. because the beer, with all that sedimentation in the beer, it has become almost like a liqueur almost. You have lots of dark fruit, you have lots of bourbon, lots of caramel, spicy goodness. That kind of roasty, toasty notes have gone away. A little bit of chocolate's kind of picked up again. It really has become a liqueur at the end of it. It's a sipper. It's something that I can't just slam down. Because, excuse me, I would have been done with this 25 minutes ago. I'm actually struggling with the last glass, more than I have for the first 75% of the glass. I can't talk. 75% of the glass. Talk about those mathematics and all those numbers, things like that, which I have to do tonight because I have to go to work. Yay! Could you imagine that they paid this guy to make sure a whole plant runs? That is crazy. That's crazy. Cray. Wow. Still good though. Still nice. And the body, I will say, has kicked up to the high side of the medium. For sure. And that burn, man, that burn's kicked up too. I'm really surprised. I've never had a beer that burn kicked up with that last dregs of the bottle like this beer has. The burn has definitely kicked up, and the dark fruit has kicked up. That's simultaneously kicked up. And I've never really had a beer like this, which is funny because I'm doing my 1600th video special right now, and this is the first beer that's ever done this to me. And that goes to show that every beer is different, every beer is unique, and you will never know what you find when you actually drink these beers. And that's why you should always try new beers and try new things and experiment and change and look for new breweries. I mean, the video makes itself. I mean, the whole point of the video makes itself. You have to look around, man. That's the thing is, you can go to the same brewery. I mean, I could find a brewery I like and just go there the whole time, but I'll just get burnt out. You know what I mean? Like, you have to experiment and try different beers from all around the world. That's the thing, man. You start like wine. Same thing. I started my beer venture as a wine venture. I started learning about wine from all around the world, and that's exactly how I got into beer. I'm not surprised that the dark fruit coming out with the dreads, but the alcohol coming out does. And I know, it's really weird. It's actually harder to drink now with the dregs in it, but the dark fruit, wow, look at me. Every time the dark fruit was there too, it was more of a burn. And when the dark fruit dissipated, there was less of a burn, almost none. And the dark fruit's back, more of a burn. And that's really weird. And I don't understand it either. But I definitely learned a lot by definitely, and I think everyone, I hate to say this because I sound like a ponce, but everybody should learn wine. Everyone. It's amazing, because if you are a person that likes to learn, even though most of you are pieces of shit that can't even learn the fucking alphabet you fucking speak, assholes. If you love to learn about the world around you and the drinks and stuff like that, you will learn so much about the cultures, about language, about the different ideas that they have from culture to culture, country to country. You will learn, and you will grow, and you will become a person of the world. And you should do this. It's important. Do it, for God's sakes. And Craig loves the movement stutter that I have. That's a different stutter. Anyway, but you should definitely do this because it grows you as a person. And not even talking about the joking stutter. You really do. Learn about your local drinks. Learn about just pick a country and start researching and learning. I'll tell you what. There is two things there was actually one thing, really. I will tell everyone to watch. And I think Craig, please chime on this one for me. Go on YouTube and check out Oz and James' Big Wine Adventure. You will take a trip with Oz Clark and James May through France, and you will learn a lot of shit. There will be a lot of stupid stuff that keeps you entertained. I like that, but you will learn a lot of shit. Move over to part 2, which is America. So you'll go through the whole California coast. You'll learn a lot. You'll be entertained. And the third one is Drink to Britain. You go to Britain, you learn a lot, and you'll get entertained. And believe me, those little things can span, and I'm not saying this is your knowledge. Your knowledge starts there, and because you're entertained by this or interested in that, you will automatically grow bigger, and you will search, and you will find, and you will become a better person, or a more learned person, I guess you could say, about these quality beers. Because when it comes back to the wine culture, you're going to learn about the beer culture. It happens automatically. Just like the painting with PABrewNews. I'm a lazy painter. I do everything the lazy way. The same thing with learning about beer and wine, man. I do everything the lazy way. This knowledge has came to me over a course of time, but I haven't really worked for it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So definitely check this shit out. Definitely check different beers, wines, the whole deal, spirits in your area. Definitely branch out. Definitely do everything you can to have a great time and learn and expand your knowledge on what you're doing and why you're doing it. I think the why is the most important part. That reconfirmation of, why am I drinking this beer? Why am I thinking this way? Why do I go to this place every day? Why do I go to this place every Sunday? Well, that's a whole other conversation. But at the same time, reconfirmations and learning yourself and why you're here and experiencing everything around you. Please do this. This has been my 1600th video on YouTube special with Brooklyn Intensified Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Coffee Stout, and I have just had a great time, and I'm glad everybody tuned in and commented, and everything's good. I love the moments. And Craig loves that moment shutter. But anyway, hope you all had a good time. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. I'm about ready to get this beer down my neck, and the vinyl is almost done again. So that's 2 vinyls. Wow, holy shit. Thank you very much. And this has been Paul from PABrewNews. I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It didn't hit all my marks, but it was a beautiful beer. Definitely check it out if you can find it. It's not going to satiate everyone's palate, but the ones who do, they're going to appreciate it. So, cheers to you, Brother Craig. Cheers to you, Jamie. Cheers to you, Ashley. And this is Paul signing out. And here we go. Watch that finger.